Whitney Nicely from Whitney Buys Houses. Are you tired of being a landlord? Maybe you're tired of your tenants not making their payments? Well, give me a call, 865-309-4500, and let me make 3 offers on your property today. Hey, y'all, this is Whitney Nicely from Whitney Buys Houses, and that's the truth. We're a real estate firm right here in East Tennessee, and Whitney really buys houses. I'm going to give you an insight to what it's like to be a real estate investor and explain how we can work together. Be sure to pass this information along to your friends, your family, your coworkers, and your Sunday school buddies. I'm ready to buy some houses right here in East Tennessee. So, what kind of houses am I looking for? Well, I'll tell you all about it on today's show. By the way, if you want the full unedited version with bonus footage of houses that we couldn't show on the radio because there's no showing on the radio, go to WhitneyBuysHouses.com and click on the link to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's totally free, and that way you can get tons more content. WhitneyBuysHouses.com. And if you want to sell an unwanted property, give me a call, 865-309-4500. Remember, Whitney buys houses, and you can too. So stay tuned, and we're going to talk all about real estate investing today.
The first question is, why did I want to be a real estate investor? My mom has always been a real estate investor. I mean, ever since I can remember, my mom has been buying houses. When she turned 18, her daddy bought her a house, and then it was just a little regular house. Her brother, who's like 10 years older than her, moved to South Carolina, and he had a house that was over the hill from Mom's first one, but it was a little bit bigger. So before my mom married my dad, she bought her brother's house, all right, in the family. My family's like the mafia. They like want everything to stay in the family forever and ever, ever, amen. And so my mom moved over the hill into her brother's old house, and she bought it before her and my dad got married. And nobody said this to me, but pretty much so that it was always her house. He moved into her house, which sometimes explains why I'm such a pain in the ass, I think, and a feminist, and why I want my stuff separate from my husband's stuff. All right, hold on, let me get a chair though. Okay, so Mom bought the house that her and Daddy moved into. It was the house that we lived in when I was born on San Juan, and that was in like 1978. In 1988, she bought another house. It was my dad's parents' house, but after they passed, Mama bought it, and we moved out to Powell. But she kept the old house and just started renting it. And then in 98, she bought the lake house. But then in the early 2000s, she started buying other houses. And she bought a house that connected to the house that we were living in Powell, and we started renting it. And so she's always just been buying houses, but she did it the very normal way, where she'd get a mortgage. She was a bridge person, so she would, get a mortgage and make the payments on it, pay off the house, and then she'd rent it. And then we'd move somewhere else, and she'd rent the old one. Until we moved from Powell to where she is now, and then she started buying just other rental houses. And in 2009, I graduated college in 2007. In 2009, I was still living at home, so I graduated college and I was working at Mom's company, and it was the middle of the recession, and I just needed to, spread my wings a little bit. So I started talking to her about, her rental house that we lived in on San Juan. That was her brother's house. And I was like, how much does people pay for rent? Maybe I could rent it. And so we ended up kicking those people out. They were on a month-to-month lease. They'd been there for like 10 years. When we went in, the house was trashed. So we had to flip it. And we put 2 new bathrooms in it. We put a brand new kitchen in it. My cousin worked on it. My dad worked on it. My brother worked on it. Like, everybody I knew worked on it. One, because we were in the middle of the recession and nobody had shit to do, and we might as well be working on one of Mom's houses. And then in the process, though, I liked going and picking out the paint. I liked going to Lowe's and picking out this stuff, and I liked picking out the cabinets and talking to the granite, and I liked getting the contractors and lining them up and, you know, doing that kind of thing. And I kept bumping my head up against my dad because he'd flipped a house or two before. One of the ones that they had when we were in Powell, Dad had, you know, worked on it and flipped it, and that was all good, except I had ideas that I wanted to do the flip. Well, we finally got done with it. It took forever, and it still wasn't completely done, but I moved in. It was my 25th birthday, and I was moving in. We had a welcome party. I borrowed furniture from all of my friends and family. Anything that anybody was wanting to get rid of, that's what I furnished the house with. And it stayed that way for about a year because I was working for Mom at the trucking company, and that's just, you know, all I could afford was the free stuff that people were giving away. So I had the free furniture, and then sometime in that first year we started going to auctions, and I would buy furniture and I would bring it home and I'd put it in my living room, and I'd, you know, fluff it up a little bit, or I'd put a blanket or something over it, and then I'd post it on Craigslist and say, you know, I'm selling this couch, and I'd double or sometimes triple my money. Or I'd buy a dresser at an auction and put it in my room and use it, and then I'd sell it on Craigslist and make some money. So I was flipping furniture, and at work I was flipping trucks. So I was working for Mom at the truck company, and she's got 4 truck companies, and one of them was a truck sales company. And so I was selling trucks. I'd go to the auction in Atlanta, buy trucks, bring them home, have the guys do some stuff to them, and then I'd put them up online, and people would fly in from around the country, and I'd sell them. So I was flipping furniture at home for extra money. I was flipping trucks at the office for, you know, extra money. And then I was also flipping this house with Mom and Dad. And I moved into it. And then sometime the next year, they bought another house kind of close to my area, and I helped them flip that one too. And then in 2011, Mama bought another house. She was going to buy it with her dad. It was the spring of 2011, and my great-grandfather started this truck company in 1939. So when he started trucking in the 30s, we didn't have any money. All the money went to buy trucks and fuel and, you know, pay the payroll, except, you know, my uncle and his friends and, like, everybody that we could find that we could pay cheap, we were, you know, letting them drive because it was the 40s and we could. It was the 50s and we could. It was the 60s and we could. So they were driving for cheap. They were making some money, and, you know, I think sometime in the 60s, actually. So they've been in business for probably 20 or 30 years. Somebody came to my great-grandfather and probably my grandfather at that time, and what had happened was this guy was also a small business owner, and our company, Walker's Truck Contractors, was on Rutledge Pike. It was actually like a street over from Rutledge Pike, but we ran Rutledge Pike because that's where the mines were. So everybody in East Knoxville was used to seeing our trucks around. They were used to seeing us around. And, you know, the Walker family was kind of household name. Like, everybody in East Knoxville had driven for us. Everybody or their cousin had driven for us at some point. Well, a guy that owned a lot of land off Rutledge Pike got into some trouble with the real mafia or the real mob or somebody, and he called my papa one night, called my great-grandfather one night, and basically what had happened is that the mob or the mafia or, you know, whoever, they'd kidnapped this guy's wife, and they were holding him for ransom. And I don't know if this guy had like gambling debts or if he had like drug debts, but we're talking like the 60s, like when you owed people money, it was like real hardcore money, and there was like real guys running around ready to bash your face in. Like, scary stuff. So this guy whose wife had been kidnapped called my great-grandfather and was like, hey, these guys have kidnapped my wife. They say they're going to kill her. I'm into these guys for a whole bunch of money. Is there something that we can do? Will you front me the money to get my wife back so I can pay these guys off, and then I will pay you for however long? And my great-grandfather was like, I'll give you the money, but I want to buy this land. You've got all this land, and if I buy that land from you, you'll get the money. You can get your wife, but I'll end up with the land. And the guy was like, all right, done. So we got like 300 or 400 acres from that. And then we got into another deal, not a shady kind of deal like that, but we got into another deal where somebody had a farm, and my great-grandfather loved horses, and my mom was a little bitty girl, and she liked horses also, and like my uncle was showing horses, and his wife was showing horses, and like we were kind of into horses and trucks there for a while, and so we got a horse farm. And then we bought some land on the other side of Rutledge Pike. And then in the 80s and 90s, we bought more land on Rutledge Pike. And as we were buying the land in the 80s and 90s, like before I even could talk or walk, I was barely existing, my family was out there building buildings on this land that they had gotten through shady deals, or that they had gotten just because they were on Rutledge Pike, and anytime anybody wanted to sell anything on Rutledge Pike, they called my family first. So my great-grandfather would buy land. He would truck all day long, and then buy land. Like whatever he made trucking, he would buy land with it. And my mom I never met him, but my mom remembers him always saying that he wanted his land and everything that touched it. So if he bought a piece, he'd go out and talk to the neighbors and let them know, hey, whenever you want to sell, I want to buy, so let me know. All right, so I tell you all of this because you've got to know that buying land and being in real estate is just like 4 generations deep in my blood.
Hey y'all, it's Whitney Nicely with Whitney Buys Houses. Now you can see every house that we have available on our website right now, WhitneyBuysHouses.com. We update this website daily, so check it out for the most up-to-date information. Now, speaking of websites, if you're interested in selling your house to Whitney Buys Houses, there's a whole section on our website just for sellers. And there's a frequently asked question tab for potential buyers or tenant buyers. Go check it out and give us a call to set up an appointment this week. 865-309-4500, or you can go to WhitneyBuysHouses.com. Remember, Whitney Buys Houses. Together, and I'd like to take some time to give you a boost of, some motivation or maybe some inspiration going into this next week. Now, whether you want to be a real estate investor or you're looking for new marketing ideas for your small business, I love to encourage and promote small businesses across East Tennessee. So take these lessons that I'm about to give you and use it in whatever expertise that you have. Take it to your job and be the best you that you can be. Also, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave me any questions or comments or concerns that you have right there. We drop this whole episode and some bonus footage on our YouTube channel every Saturday morning. Go to WhitneyBuysHouses.com, click on the button to subscribe. It's totally free. Now, without further ado, let's get started, y'all. This is Whitney Nicely from Whitney Buys Houses. Now, there's lots of people out there who are struggling to make their payments right now. And listen, I'm happy to take over those payments for you. Call me at Whitney Buys Houses, 865-309-4500. And call me before you start, call me before you stop making those payments. Call me before you miss the first payment. 865-309-4500.
One story is that my papa had a duplex up on Magnolia Avenue, which is where the hookers hang out now. But back in the day, it was like a nice 4-lane road. And I never even knew this, but Mama told me that Papa had this duplex and he got tired of renting it, got tired of going around and collecting rent on it because, back then they didn't just direct deposit stuff into your account. You had to go pick it up. So he got tired of doing that and he decided to put it up for auction. So Mama went to the auction, Papa was at the auction, and it ended up that Mom bought that duplex because nobody was bidding high enough. And this is like in the 70s again, before they had laws about bidding up properties that you already have an interest in. She didn't technically have an interest in it, but her dad did, but she ended up buying it at the auction and closing on it. And I looked up the tax records. It did actually go through her name, and then Papa found somebody else outside of the auction to buy it from her pretty quickly also. But when I hear stories like that, now being licensed as a broker and an auctioneer, you can't get away with that anymore. Like, if I auctioned a house, I would have to know who extended family was and to make sure that it was going to actually sell and go to somebody else. But this was back in the 70s and they just did whatever they could do to make things happen. So it was just a different time, and sometimes I think it might have been a little bit easier, but then I think about collecting all that rent. No wonder they sold their houses. But then I think, oh my gosh, if we'd had these 10 houses since the 70s and bought, 30 more in the 80s and 50 more in the 90s, and, we would have had all those houses free and clear to, survive the recession. Maybe all that money coming in would have helped keep our trucks floating, and we wouldn't have had our equipment repoed during the recession. But, I can sit here now in 2017 and look back over since 1939. So 80 years, 90 years, 80 years. Since 1939, and I can see pictures of my family trucking, see pictures of my family at auctions, and my papa had on this big, huge cowboy Stetson hat and a cigar hanging out of his mouth. I can see all of that, and I can see, I can look up the tax records, or I can ride around with my mom and she'd say, oh, I remember when we had that one, and I remember when we sold that one, and Mrs. So-and-so lived in that house and they rented it, and they also he drove for us and she cleaned our houses, and there's just so many family stories in my life of people having real estate. And I tell people all the time that I grew up as a real estate investor's kid. I remember the rent checks coming from San Juan and being in the mailbox, and Mom, sending me out to the mailbox when I was a kid to go get the rent money. I thought everybody had money in the mailbox. My mom only had one rental house at the time, or maybe she had two. But I knew money came in the mailbox. I didn't realize bills came in the mailbox until I got into my 20s. So I really told you this whole big backlog of stories because my family has been a real estate investing family since the 50s or 60s. On Rutledge Pike, if you drive Rutledge Pike now, it's like playing Monopoly. I can drive it and say, we own that, we own that, we own that, we own that. We own that one, we own that one, But there's some places on Rutledge Pike that, my mom bought 20 acres on Rutledge Pike last month. And, she got to, I think she's up to 8 rental houses now. She's been buying a lot more since 2010. I think she's bought 1 or 2 houses every year since 2010. And so there was 4 or 5 years that she was buying houses and still doing it the old and slow way. And that's why, I got my license, because in 2011, when we bought that yellow house on the creek, her and Papa were going to buy it because they owned another piece of property that they bought somehow randomly. I don't even know when. But they bought 15 acres on a mountain. All right. And if you own a dump truck company, you always need a mountain so that you can pull the dirt off and haul it to job sites, or you need to buy a hole so that you can get old dirt from old job sites and fill up your hole. All right. So they bought a mountain. Well, in 2011, 15 acres on the lower side of the mountain became available, but it was going to be perfect because it had road access that we could go into the bottom of their land. And since my great grandfather always said, he wants his land and everything that touches it, well, naturally, when this 15 acres came up available, they wanted to buy it. All right. And the neighbor, our competitor in trucking, had a contract on it for a year. He wrapped up this house for a year so that we couldn't buy it, but he let his contract lapse, and Mom had found the owner working at Food City in the deli department, and she'd gone over there and she'd taken her cookies and gifts, and she'd just gone out and hung out with her, and she'd stopped and talked to her. So as soon as our competitor in the trucking company let his contract lapse, this lady called Mom and said, hey, his contract is done. If you want to buy it, you need to come look at it. So the lady had the house listed, and I went with Mom to look at the house. I helped her negotiate, but I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't really know how to negotiate. I was flipping furniture and flipping trucks. I'd never made an offer on a house. I didn't even understand real estate. I just knew that my mom understood it. I thought my mom understood it. So 2011, spring of 2011, and my papa was basically going to fund it for my mom, all right? Because he rolls, used to roll like pretty deep. You want to talk about rappers and bands? My papa was really rolling around with bands of money, just hanging out. I've always been a rich kid. So my papa just one day, while they're negotiating, after we've got it under contract, after him and my mom have agreed to buy it, and my papa and my mom don't have a really good relationship, didn't have a really good relationship. My papa and my uncle had a solid, BFF, talked 18 times a day, but my papa was from the old school where girls were kind of useless and boys were, the backbone of the family and everything that we were going to be dependent on. So in 2011, spring of 2011, my mom and papa have decided that they're going to buy this land, and my mom has worked for my papa every day since 1979, and he has not given her nearly as much leeway or opportunity as he gave my uncle, just because she was a woman. And so one day, while they're under contract on this house, he walks in and sits down, and he's like, you know what, Kathy? My mom is Kathy. He was like, I think you should buy this without me. And she was like, I don't have the money. And this is my mom, a grown-ass woman, like a very prideful, grown-ass, kids in and out of college woman. And her daddy has just come in and said, I'm not going to fund this for you. You're going to have to fund it yourself. And she was crushed. My mom made not a lot of money. Even though she worked for her dad's company, she just didn't make a lot of money. And so she kind of panicked. She got mad, except when my mom gets mad, she gets quiet. When I get mad, I get loud. If I get quiet, it's like atomic mad. But my mom said, fine, forget it. I'll buy it without you. I don't need you. So we changed the contracts for it just to be my mom. And I don't know where she got the money. I don't know how she came up with the money. I don't know if she got a line of credit on the house, if she got a regular mortgage. I still, to this day, I have no idea how my mom got it. But I know that my mom ended up buying that land by herself. And that was like a diving board into her going on a shopping spree. Because that was the first piece that I can remember my mom buying. And then after that, she was looking around at everything. Somehow in that conversation, it was almost like my papa gave her permission to go on out and start investing herself and not depend on him anymore. And I am sitting here just watching this happen.
Whoopsie! It's time to check in with WOKI and find out what's happening in East Tennessee today. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey y'all, this is Whitney Nicely from Whitney Buys Houses. Do you know I have another company? It's called She Buys It. Proverbs 31:16 says she goes to inspect a field and she buys it. With her earnings, she plants a vineyard. I love helping women get their deals done. And if you listen to videos or you listen to the radio show, you listen to anything that I've done, you can tell that I really have a heart and a passion for helping women. Now, it's commonly misunderstood because I do love men and I love helping gentlemen get their deals done too. They just have to deal with all the pink in my world. And because I do mostly speak with women, then that's usually who I end up working with. Funny how that works, huh? I believe that if you want to be in real estate investing, then there's a place for you, and I'm happy to help you. All right, sometimes you're the tenant, sometimes you're the private money lender, sometimes you're the deal finder, and sometimes you're the seller. Whatever you're interested in regarding real estate, you can make it happen. So if you're here today and you do want to start a rental portfolio, I have a special presentation for you. All you got to do is go to fddfyes.com, like first deal done fast, fddfyes.com. And I've got a special webinar presentation. It's totally free. I'm going to reveal my top 3 secrets for real estate investing success today. Again, go to fddfyes.com to watch a free webinar where I'm going to reveal my top 3 real estate investing secrets, real estate investing secrets to success in East Tennessee today. Y'all go to fddfyes.com and sign up for First Deal Done Fast so I can help you get your first deal done fast. Welcome back to the 865 Investor Show. This is Whitney Nicely with Whitney Buys Houses. Give us a call if you have an unwanted property that you want to get rid of this week. 865-309-4500. Let's hop back into our chat this morning. Hey y'all, this is Whitney Nicely with Whitney Buys Houses. I hope you've enjoyed the show today. I had a fantastic time, and I want to let you know that if you're just tuning in, you missed a lot, but you can catch it all up. Go to whitneybuyshouses.com and click on the button to check out our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And we put bonus footage on the YouTube channel, so make sure you check it out every Saturday. I also want to let you know that I haven't always been the real estate nerd that I am today. I haven't always been the principal broker of Whitney Buys Houses. I haven't always been into creative financing and fixing and flipping and all the things that I love so much today. I want to tell you, when I started investing, I did everything wrong. I spent cash. I thought I needed credit. I thought I needed bank financing. I thought I had to wait 115 years to get my money back. Like, I made so many mistakes in the beginning. Mostly because I was trying to invest and not like get my money. I was willing to wait on a payday later, and I was only able to work with 1 or 2 or 3 people a year. In 2014, it all changed though. I learned about creative financing. I learned about how to take over people's payments. I learned about owner financing. I learned about, sections of East Tennessee that needed people to come in and make low offers and fix and flip the properties. I mean, everything changed in 2014. I'll never forget doing my first deal out on my own. And y'all, seriously, like, I've been taking over people's payments on unwanted houses since 2014. My first deal was out in Dandridge, Tennessee. I've got houses in Fountain City. I've looked at deals in West Hills. I love East Tennessee. I got a triplex up in Morristown. All right. I've been offering owner financing, people that inherit houses and they just want monthly money. I've been making those deals since 2014. I've also been making low cash offers on properties. And, there's lots of people around town. You see their signs at every red light that says, I buy houses, cash offer, close quickly. I am one of those people, but my signs always say Whitney buys houses. That way, when you call the office, we'll say Whitney buys houses on the phone. And when we show up, Whitney buys houses, Whitney, more than likely, will be there, or it'll be one of the ladies in the office and she'll have on a Whitney buys houses shirt. Sometimes the people with those signs out on the road don't even live in East Tennessee. Y'all, I love East Tennessee. I love the people of East Tennessee, and I have a passion for helping them with their real estate problems. I want you to know, I had a great time hanging out with you this morning, and I hope you'll hang out with me again next week. I hope you'll tell more people to come hang out with us, or you'll get our website, whitneybuysHouses.com, and you'll send that to a friend of yours who needs help. All right, maybe the listing is expired, or maybe they're struggling to make their mortgage payment, or maybe they've inherited a property, or maybe their mom is in a transition of life. Like, let your friends know that I'm here. Let your family know that I'm here. Help me share the word that there's more to real estate than just signing 18,000 different pages of a contract that really just benefits your listing agent. And you don't have to suffer through seeing 42 people stomp through your living room on a Sunday afternoon. Like, we don't have to do real estate that way anymore, y'all. We don't. All right. My team and I, we're not like regular realtors, and we're not like your typical real estate investors. All right. What we do is different. We're going to team together with our sellers, with the people that have real estate problems. We're going to listen to their actual stories and what's going on, and then we're going to work together to solve those problems quickly. Every time we go out to look at a property, we're going to make 3 offers. All right. And we can even make these offers over the phone. If you want to call Whitney Buys Houses, 865-309-4500. We're happy to make offers over the phone as well. And, we'd love to drive out and meet you at the property and make the offers there, as long as it's not listed. All right. I've got 3 rules. I don't want to deal or look or talk about a house that's listed with another agent. All right. I'm sure they're doing a great job for you. Let me know if and when that contract expires. I wish you the best of luck. I'm not dealing with anybody that has a property listed with another agent. Okay. Rule 2, I don't like the F word. All right. If you're behind on payments, if you're facing foreclosure, or you're in pre-foreclosure, or you're starting the short sale process, I can't help you. All right. But if you think that next month you can't make the payment, I can help you. All right. But the F word is foreclosure, and I don't deal with the F word. If you're behind on payments, I probably can't help you. And the third rule, I like empty properties. All right. So if you're living there, but you could leave, call me. If you got a tenant there, but their lease is expired, or they're not paying, and you're looking for a good reason to kick them out, call me. All right. I don't want anybody but the dust bunnies living in that property. I move fast. I talk fast. I write fast offers. I do fast deals. And I just can't wait on somebody to move out of the house. So if you got an empty house, I'm your girl. If you're current or paid off on that property, I'm your girl. If you haven't talked to any other real estate agents, I'm your girl. Call Whitney Buys Houses. All right. I'll let you know that the deals we close at Whitney Buys Houses, sometimes we can do the deal in 7 days. Sometimes it takes us 14. Lots of times we're 90 days from making your first payment. It all just depends on which of the 3 offers our seller chooses. All right. Worst case scenario, yes, we're licensed real estate agents, and we will list the property, and we'll handle all the craziness that follows together. All right. So fine. I'll list a property. One of the ladies in the office will probably end up listing that property. If you want it listed, all right, I'm game. I'll help you. Whatever it's going to take, I'll help you. Please, though, let all your friends and family know. Let all of your, landlording friends know. Let all of your coworkers know. Let everybody in your Sunday school class know that you, or they, if you're asking for a friend, Y'all don't have to be stuck with tenants and toilets and troubles anymore. All right, call Whitney Buys Houses, 865-309-4500. I also want you to know that y'all don't have to fight with the bookkeepers and keep up with the receipts and do the fixing and flipping. And you don't have to be embarrassed if you ran out of money on a fix and flip. You don't have to sit for hours at the attorney's office trying to understand stuff that's practically Greek. All right. And you don't have to fight with your property managers anymore. You don't have to pay them anymore. Call Whitney Buys Houses. Please, y'all. I can help you solve so many real estate problems. Give me a call, 865-309-4500. I also want you to know that if you're helping your mom and she's transitioning to a senior care community, or she's going to move into your basement, or she's going to travel around in an RV and she just needs to get rid of her property, you don't have to fight with your siblings. You don't have to fight with your mom. You don't have to suffer on a wait list somewhere just waiting on the house to sell. All right. I don't want anybody's moms to suffer. I love helping women. And whether I'm helping you do your own deals or I'm helping your mom live her best life, y'all please call me. All right. I don't want anybody to suffer waiting on a property to sell. And I don't want you to see that all your profits basically go up in smokes or they get gobbled up watching a fix and flip happen when you didn't want to be a fix and flipper. I don't want you working your tail off just to satisfy an inspector or get the appraisal up another $1,000. Like, y'all, please call Whitney Buys Houses and let us buy your mom's house this week. All right. We love your mom's house just the way it is. If it's got stuff in it, we will buy it just like that. You don't have to empty it out. We will take care of it. Get the goods, whatever you want, and we'll take care of the rest. We want you and your mom to live your best life ever. Your dad too. If your dad's here and he's got a house he wants to get rid of, we're happy to help whoever you have in your life get rid of a real estate problem today. And we'll take it the way it is. You don't have to do anything to it, and you don't have to be embarrassed because of the way it looks. We've seen it all. Okay. I want you to remember it the way it was. I don't want you to get burnt out, stressed out, or frustrated over a real estate problem. Please call Whitney Buys Houses, 865-309-4500. Set up an appointment for one of our certified home buyers to come out to your property, your mom's property. It's just got to be a property that you or somebody owns. Don't call me to look at your neighbor's property because it's junk. All right. It's got to be something that you own. But y'all, please give me a call. Whitney Buys Houses, 865-309-4500. That's what I got for you today. I hope you had a great time with me. Y'all, please share this message, share this video if you find it on YouTube, share with everybody around East Tennessee. Let them know that they don't have to go through the regular real estate roller coaster. I'd love to come in and buy their house this week. Remember, Whitney Buys Houses all over East Tennessee. 865-309-4500. Y'all, thanks so much for listening. This is the 865 Investor Show with Whitney Nicely. I had a fantastic time. Y'all don't forget to tune in next week for another batch of fun. Good morning, East Tennessee. Are you looking for networking opportunities with local 865 investors? Maybe fix and flippers, maybe buy and hold investors, maybe who knows what you're looking for, private money lenders or deal finders or all sorts of real estate investing education. Well, you're in luck. I want to introduce you to the Knox RIA. That's the Knoxville Real Estate Investors Association. And I'd like to invite you to join Knox RIA. We have monthly meetings, and they're virtual right now, on the second Tuesday of every month. Go to knoxria.com to find out all of the details. There's a place for everyone to make more money and save more money when you invest in East Tennessee. Be sure to find out how you can save 2% at Home Depot, even if you're not, quote unquote, an investor yet. Everyone should join Knox RIA as a Perks member just for the money of shopping at Home Depot. Check out knoxria.com. KNOXREIA.com. Noxria.com. We'd love to have you join us as a member. Hey y'all, this is Whitney Nicely from Whitney Buys Houses. Now, when I say Whitney Buys Houses, what I mean is I love to take over mortgage payments or make money appear out of thin air with owner financing deals. As you heard today, I love real estate investing, but mostly I love helping people. Tired landlords call me every week and say, Whitney, I want out of the game. I just want passive income without toilets, tenants, and troubles. You know what I say? Okay, I'm in. Or other landlords call and they say, Whitney, I want to roll my portfolio into bigger deals. Can you take over these properties so I can focus on other things in life? Heck yes, I can. I love these deals. And still, other people call and they're, more like accidental landlords. Like, for instance, my mom. See, when she bought her first house, it was great. But as our family grew, we needed more space. So my parents bought a bigger house, but they didn't sell the old one. They rented it. They didn't buy the house as an investment. They accidentally became landlords later. And y'all, lots of people do that. But with life and work and growing kids and, taking care of older parents, sometimes a tenant moving out unexpectedly is the last straw. You know what I mean? Like these people just cannot go over there and clean out the property. They don't want to deal with sinking money into flipping it just to rent it back out. Heck, they don't even want to put a sign in the yard and take applications for new tenants. Very often, these accidental landlords end up letting the house sit and get kind of, funky. They just stroke a check for the mortgage month after month until one day they find me, Whitney Buys Houses. I come in and I start making the payments for them, usually about 3 months later, but sometimes sooner. Once these accidental landlords see the light at the end of the 3-month tunnel, they instantly lose 5 pounds of stress and worry. Their marriage gets better. They become a better parent. All of this was weighing them down. But when Whitney Buys Houses comes in and we take the problem away, it's a total win for both of us. Now, I mentioned accidental landlords are often taking care of older parents, right? Well, another person that I love to help is, now this isn't usually the case, but I love to help the oldest daughter, the oldest sister, whoever is in charge of mom's health and entertainment later in life. It usually falls to the oldest daughter to make sure that mom is looked after, and that means dealing with mom's house. So what do you do if you don't have time to clean out the contents? You don't want to list it with a regular real estate agent. By the way, I'm the broker for Whitney Buys Houses. Just want to make sure I clear that out. I am a real estate agent. But they don't want to list it. They don't want to renegotiate. They don't want to wait on inspections and appraisals. I mean, it could take like 30 to 45 to 90 days sometimes. You need cash fast for mom's house so she can transition to the new life at the senior care community or move into your basement. I'm there for you as a listening ear and a massive real estate problem solver. I let you take the best goodies and knickknacks from mom's house and I deal with the rest. At Whitney Buys Houses, we can make 3 to 4 offers on your property as soon as we see it. Sometimes we make those offers over the phone. Then we can close the deal in 7 to 14 to 21 days. It all depends on the silly title work. All right. If you've got a good, clear title, we've closed deals in 48 hours before. So whatever you're going through in real estate, as a professional landlord or as an accidental landlord or as a stressed out human being just doing the best that you can, call Whitney Buys Houses, 865-309-4500. We're here to help you live your best life and we'll deal with the real estate. Call Whitney Buys Houses, 865-309-4500. We're here to help you today. As always, if you have any questions or you want to know more about anything that I said today, call Whitney Buys Houses, 865-309-4500. The ladies and I are in the office every Monday through Friday from about 9 to 5, but you can also check out all the details on our website, whitneybuyshouses.com. Let's take a few minutes and chat this week so we can come by your house. I'd love to work together. Give us a call. Whitney Buys Houses, 865-309-4500.